These are the only Warframes and equipment you need to play Warframe efficiently and make it fun and brain dead as well. If you are a Warframe elitist that focuses on the best builds that deals the most damage and picks the best Warframes for every mission type that you play, prepare to click off this video because you're about to get a heart attack. The builds presented in this video is just gonna be all about playing the game while being brain dead, and this is how you do it. The first Warframe, Wukong. I use this Warframe for pretty much any missions like capture, rescue, or open world maps. The reason for this is because of his second ability, which allows him to quickly navigate through the map. And on top of that, Wukong is pretty hard to kill with his large health pool and passive ability. To me, he is a 10 out of 10 Warframe for any missions that require you to go from point A to point B. Any missions that requires you to travel through the map like spy, capture, or rescue missions, I use Wukong. You can use Wukong for Steel Path as well, but I will not recommend using Wukong for long endurance missions like survival or defense, or extremely high level missions like Archon Hunt. Basically, I only use Wukong for missions where speed running is the fastest way to complete the mission. Here's the build. This build is focused on buffing his second ability and increasing his endurance. And now I can already hear you Warframe elitists screaming in the comments saying Titania is better or Gauss is better. Well, here's the thing. Wukong doesn't need a lot of effort to build. Wukong is easier to obtain compared to those two. Also, to make this build that I'm using for Wukong, you require way less forma compared to those two Warframes. And also, on spy missions, Wukong's second ability makes him immune to lasers. To anything that triggers the vault alarm, Wukong is immune to that as long as his second ability is active, which is why I prefer him over Titania or Gauss. Second Warframe, Mirage. I use Mirage for missions like interception, defense, or excavation. A lot of times I use Mirage for survival missions as well, so just so I can nuke and clear the entire map. I only recommend Mirage for missions where enemies are below level 60. If you're going for long endurance runs like 100 defense waves or 3-hour-long survival missions, or sortie missions, then don't pick Mirage, because my build for her is focused on speed running missions like interception and defense, or having fun nuking the entire map on survival or excavation missions. You can use Mirage for regular Sanctuary Onslaught as well, though I do not recommend her for Elite Sanctuary Onslaught because the enemies there are just too high level to one shot. So here's the build. Explosive Legerdemain is the most important mod for this build, because with this mod you can pretty much just click one button and go AFK if you want and not give a shit about what happens in the game. Like, you can literally just stand still at one spot and just not care about what goes on. This build is mainly focused on her second ability. The Archon shards used are for duration because I already have this Arcane, which increases the power strength by 60% at maximum. You can get this Arcane from Cavaliero on the Zariman ship. Mirage is my go-to Warframe if I want to make missions like defense or survival fun, because all I have to do is press one button and just watch everybody around me die and watch big damage numbers appear all over the screen, and all I have to do is just run around the map collecting loot. The next Warframe would be Revenant. This is my go-to Warframe for any extremely difficult missions like Archon Hunt or long Steel Path survival missions, where I'm expected to face enemies that are gonna be extremely high level and have the potential to kill you in one shot. So here's the build. For this build, we are just focusing on maximizing his second ability, which grants you immunity to damage, which means as long as this ability remains active, enemies cannot damage you at all. Yes, you heard me right. Enemies cannot damage you at all if you activate this ability. So in summary, Wukong for capture, spy, rescue, extermination, and open world missions. Mirage for defense, interception, survival, and excavation missions. Revenant for any high-level missions like Archon Hunt, Sorties, or Steel Path. Now, of course, the Warframe elitists will say Titania and Gauss are better at speedrunning through the map than Wukong, or Sarin and Volt are better at nuking the entire map compared to Mirage. And yes, you'll be right for those statements, if you are a tryhard, like those elitists. For me, I don't like going tryhard on a mission. I just want to click one button and just relax. And here's a demonstration. Now for the weapons. For my primary weapon, I use this kit gun, which is appropriately named as such. And for the secondary and melee weapon, just use whichever you want. For me, I just use the Latham and the Glaive Prime. Latham is just there. Glaive Prime, I just throw it around. Sometimes, very rare. For my build, I just use the primary weapon, the kit gun, because it's just so much easier to kill enemies with it. And the arcane I installed just basically means you'll never run out of ammo. So I just, for my build, I just use the primary weapon. Very rarely do I ever use the secondary or the melee weapon. For the secondary weapon, I just use it if I'm facing up against a boss in a boss fight, you know. That's it. And I'm just gonna let the gameplay speak for itself.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
So these are the Warframes and weapons that I use to play so that I can play Warframe as brain-dead as possible and as relaxing as possible. And that's it. I don't care about what deals the most damage or which frame is better than the others. I just use whichever frame that allows me to play the game as brain-dead as possible. So yeah, that's it for this Warframe tutorial. Goodbye.